and it's a hard act to follow following Fabiano, so I will do my best. And I don't know if I count as a senior old salesperson, but I'm certainly not young, so I'll try. Okay, so we'd like to just tell you a story today about a recent initiative that we've carried out at Conversis. And we are going to talk through positioning. So positioning is a lovely MBA kind of a marketing sales word for where you put your company or how you think through. But I'm going to go through the decisions we had about how we think we wanted to get Conversis to stand out in a very crowded market. We then go through what options we came up with in our discussions of what we could do with our positioning, and then the strategy, and then finally how we implemented it. As we're at a linguist or a language event, I asked my colleagues to add some little captions to my talk, and they're in the different languages that we had in the office that day. And I'm a little bit worried because the guys don't take me too seriously at work, so I'm not sure exactly what they've written in these captions, but hopefully some of it is relevant. So, the first thing we thought about when we were looking at our strategy on positioning was to see what we think the market is out there. And as I've been introduced, I was new to the language market 9 months ago, and the first thing I did is try and search similar companies to Conversis. And having found about 400 different companies that looked like they did pretty much the same thing, I came to the conclusion that the market is pretty crowded. There's a lot of companies, and a lot of companies offer very similar things. And from one of the CSA reports, there are over 30,000 companies. So that's a lot of companies trying to distinguish themselves in the same space. And then doing a survey on the website, you look at what they offer, and a lot of companies seem to have similar websites and similar services. So they try and offer all the services that are to do with translation, and I've just listed a few up there. And then they also say, well, we can do every sector as well. We can do legal, we can do pharma, health, work science, we can do financial. So again, a lot of companies offering the same thing. We thought that was a very crowded space. So we want to try and focus on distinguishing ourselves as a company. And the first thing we tried to do is work out what we think about ourselves. So who are we? Who do we think we are? And just to go through it, we kind of, it's like a segmentation approach. We thought within the market, we're a specialty company, we're not a commodity company. We're not going to compete on low cost and commodity translation. We want to be a specialty. We're medium sized, so we're not large, we're about 40, 50 people, that kind of medium size. So we're not as big as Lionbridge and Transperfect, but we are of that size, so we have to acknowledge that. We pride ourselves on our project management and our service levels, the high end. Again, it's a great product and it's a great thing to have. It doesn't necessarily communicate as a sales tool. You know, people don't always go to you because they think you've got a great service. You've got to get them in first before they can experience the service. So it doesn't always lead one to the other. We're not going to be the cheapest. Again, we're not a commodity translator, but we believe we're the best. And then dynamic, friendly experts. This is where we're trying to come across and communicate our brand and our company. And then finally, what is our USP? So people can spend a lot of time in meetings trying to find out what their unique selling point is. We decided just to move on and ask our clients what they thought about us. So having thought about it from our own view, we then did a survey which was sent out, and we were quite happy to get similar feedback to what we thought we were. So we were happy in ourselves. We're high on customer service, we're personable, people know our company, a lot of people know Gary, and Gary was the face in our customer survey of the company. But again, that has a flip side, that Gary was the company. So people start focusing on him and not on the actual whole company. It's a bit one approach. People said we're the right size and the right price. So again, they're not focusing on cost as a major driver. They think we deliver what we're meant to. The feedback from the clients, these are clients that we have already, we're working with, say that we're good at delivering what we commit to. And then some of the words we put in there: solid, passionate, ethical, fun-loving. If you've seen any of the videos they've put together in the past, there's always a fun element. And we are opinionated. So then we tried to assess the market. And again, we were trying to work out what we thought, where we could fit within the market. So again, it's a process we're going through together. And we assessed our market as it's very large. Every industry in the world is going to use translation, pretty much, if people want to communicate. So we didn't think we could fit in every single sector all at the same time. And then there are different types of clients, and this is one of the issues we focus on a lot. The clients don't always want what we think is important. So if we think we're focusing on quality, we think our products and our customer service is superb, the communication is superb, there are going to be clients out there who just don't care. They're not that bothered. They want to just get a process quickly, they want to turn around, or they'll focus on price. Translation is an outsourced thing for them. So different customers want different things. Some want commodity, some want specialty. And we can't always focus. So again, this comes back to another nice MBA, how do you segment the market? And the first thing that's easy to do is look at who we're working with. So our two major set of customers are either in healthcare communication, so people who are communicating with patients, but it's on the medical side. And then we have a technical marketing, so two companies that are technical companies, but we are working with their marketing people and doing the translation. So again, we segmented our customers and the market through that segmentation. So then we thought about, okay, how do we go and use all this information and pull those ideas together and actually look at what the options are. And two of the many options that I'm just going to talk about are put forward. One, you can appeal to the whole market. You can try and be a company that has every service listed, but to stand out, you've got to think of a way to say we're different. And that was our previous strategy, which was Think Pink. I don't know if anybody's seen the pink t-shirts and the pink stands and the approach. So if you want to have a look, this is the Think Pink approach. That's Gary. This is the whole team. This was at our 10-year anniversary party, and everybody was wearing pink t-shirts, and every time you went on the stand, you had to wear a pink. And this was our website, which was equally pink and stand out. So the approach of the original idea was pink stands out. It's a marketing approach. But, and some of the feedback we get is that a bright pink impact type of approach looks to a lot of people like you are a marketing company. You're going in there to shout about your company, you're shouting by your image, and that does not always fit with the healthcare or the clients who want something trusting and calm, and it fits with the clients. So our second thought, and this is where we're talking about today, was to focus on the actual verticals or the markets we're servicing, and try and work out how we can fit our brand and our positioning with those verticals. And the two verticals again were the healthcare advertising, which we use the word medical or clinical, and then technical marketing is the main part of the company. Again, a bit hard to define, but we were looking at a clean, a strong image, not too salesy, but you want to be accessible from those. So if we go through what it was, that was the pink. So the first we looked at was developing our positioning. So positioning is not just the branding. A lot of people will focus on the branding, that's what you see the branding coming through. But we looked to change the whole company approach to fit with the medical sector. And we looked to look at a complete separate company within Conversis that was focusing on the medical. And yes, we'll get branding to go with it, but we'll also look at having a dedicated director, a dedicated project management team with the guys doing the work. Gary then looked to bring in some pharmaceutical experience or medical experience, and then we would then, at that stage, having changed our positioning and changed our company thinking, we then developed the branding and the proposition. So what did we do? We moved away from the frantic pink and the we're pink, you can see us, to a nice, calm, hospital-type blue and green. And you can see the little logo in the corner, there's the blue and green logo. And then Gary put an advert out there saying, please can somebody who's a life sciences professional come and work for Conversis? And I answered the advert, not actually knowing, because he didn't put in the advert, what type of company I was getting myself into. And I have 13 years experience, but as a pharmaceutical sales and technical person, I've been in the labs as well. So I was bringing the experience and the knowledge of the pharmaceutical service, but not immediately bringing knowledge of the localization. But we have a senior team, I say senior, we have an experienced team of localization experts in our company who are very good at bringing me up to speed on that stage. So you know, the positioning was not just let's change the brand, it was actually changing the whole thinking of how we're running our company and bringing in expertise to match up with our management team. So that's me. We then looked at the branding, and the branding was across all of our communications. So it's the website, we have a brochure, we have logos and a conference stand. And so here was me, this is me presenting at the DIA. The DIA is one of the big medical conferences, and I'm actually standing there. I always have to have some pictures of the Muppets, because they're my heroes in my talks, so top left. But I was presenting here as, can scientists be cool? I'm presenting as a scientist. And again, we're looking to build the credibility that we understand our customers' markets, we understand our customers' processes. And so I will do talks about localization, about sales, but also about science's views. This is the brochure we developed for the medical side. Again, it's all white space and nice and calm and blue. And there's even some little chemical symbols in the bottom left, a nice benzene ring. Again, this was from our nice arty guys who were doing the design, but it is focusing on the specialism of medical translation. And the website goes with it as well. It's again the blue. We took the colour out. The designers loved to put lots of design in, loved to put colour in, and we actually told them to pull back. You know, Gary and I and our marketing manager went to the designers and had many meetings to think about how this branding will communicate to our clients. And there's some grinning idiots at the side of our actual conference stand, but the stand again is the blue and the colours. So just to go back. And then finally, we decided to look at our proposition, so what we can actually present to the market. So it's not just the director, it's the branding, but also how we can think about what our clients need. So we're strengthening our specialism. And we took on the ISO qualification. Again, I'm not convinced that following the paperwork actually made our company any better or any worse, but we were there, and the clients want to have that tick box. They want to have your ISO, they want to have your EN 15038. So we did it, we moved forward with that. We're developing new products, and I say new products, they're very old products. A lot of our customers are not using the most simple functions in Trados Studio at all. They're cut and paste everything out into a Word file, translate the Word file, and cut and paste it all back in. So developing the new products or communicating the new products to our customers to find out what their processes are about. Of course, our medical customers are sending stuff off for compliance with their SOPs and with the industry. So they have a strange workflow that eventually goes off to ethics committees. So getting to know our customers and strengthening that experience is a key part of our positioning strategy. And so we had the medical brand set up, and that was my area. We then looked back at our main company brand. And at the moment, we've only gone for one vertical medical and then the main company. And so we call it Conversis Corporate. It's the parent company. It has a website, conversis.com, and the brochures. And we then again use the same strategy of looking to get somebody from outside the localization industry to head up that business unit. And this year we recruited Russell Goldsmith, my colleague over here, who has 20 plus, he didn't tell me exactly how many years, he doesn't want to be considered an old salesperson. 20 plus years experience, but in the digital marketing and the PR industry, which again is a key area. Our clients are looking at digital marketing. There's no such thing, people say, such as digital marketing, it is all just marketing. So we've brought that in, and then we're bringing the team together so we can look at our customers. And we still have the options, of course, to look at other verticals when we think that there's a specialization in that market that we want to look at. So this is our main branding. Again, it's the blue and purple for the clean and the strong. The website that matches. And so the final part of what we did is then try and get some assessment of whether this initiative actually works and whether our customers think it's a good idea. So we've been out and we've spoken to our medical clients and some medical conference people, and generally it's very well received. I was hoping it would be, because we targeted it at something they're used to. If you go to a medical conference, all the stands are blue and white. There's very few impact stands at a medical conference. And so we got good feedback on the branding, but equally on the fact that I can build credibility with the purchasers and with the teams there, because I have more experience of what an SOP, a standard operating procedure for a client, is because I had the bane of my life in my last job in the same issues they're dealing with. Quality. Wonderful. And we think that the enabling ourselves to show we have a specialism in medical is definitely standing out. It's slightly different and it's getting in there. One of the challenges, of course, is that if a customer thinks they want to have a specialism, that's great, it fits. If the customer is still ignoring their specialism and they just want to go for cheap commodity, you've still got to get out there and fight. You've got to fight for that business, you've got to fight for that sales pitch. And then once you've got that, you can use your specialist website to give yourself validation. But again, just the branding alone, just the approach alone does not grab the customers in. We still have to do pure and old-fashioned sales. And some of the biggest companies in our market, and some of the biggest company, or the biggest company in the medical sector, are not focusing on the quality of their product, they're not focusing on their integrity, they're not even focusing on the people who do the translation work. They are focusing on the top management, the procurement departments, the cost departments. They take them out for dinner, they do old-fashioned sales and marketing, and it's working. So my view is that we have to compete on that level, we have to go in and do enough sales and marketing, and then, once we get our foot in the door, we have a wonderful validation process to say, look at the quality, look at our product, look at our Conversis Medical, and then hopefully that will mean that we can win in the straight competition. But you've got to get your foot in the door still. Again, to do a little assessment of the challenges, we found it tricky, or Gary tells me he found it tricky because it was me he found in the end, to get somebody who can fit both into the localization sector, but comes out of their comfort zone, which is what I've worked in for 13 years, which was the pharma industry, to actually go and take on that new challenge. And again, we got Russ, but it takes time to look to find the right people. And we looked at some of the other sectors, and we spoke to some people on other sectors and said, do you want to come out? And a lot of the people who were good said, actually, we don't want to leave our specialty area. So one of the challenges was getting people to step out of their comfort zone and come in. I like the challenge, so I'm very happy to take it on and try and learn. Obviously, and we're talking about the budgets, we now have 2 websites, 2 brands, 2 groups of people. It takes a bit more effort, it takes time, it's going to take cost internally and externally to maintain those 2 brands. So there is a cost element, we've got double the marketing, but we think that's double the impact or double the opportunity to stand out within the market. And again, people won't remember us at the conference because we used to be known as, oh, you were the pink guys in the corner, you had the pink lip seal, you had the pink t-shirts. And that was a good tag or a good grab for people to remember you. We have to work a little bit harder now and people will not remember us as the impact. But we hope that once we get the foot in the door, once we get the contact, they will be able to look at our websites, look at our social media, and it will validate our offering as something useful to go for. So that's my talk. I was able to do it short so we can have some questions, or if we want to, we can give Massimo more time to talk. I'd like to thank you for your attention and thank the Galar Organising Committee for inviting me.
Do we have any questions for Mark? Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to do the restructuring from Think Pink to the new branding?
Yeah, so the process started before I came to the company, so probably about a year and a half to get it from start to finish, because I actually came in to do the marketing branding meetings before I became part of the employees. So I've been there 9 months, and I was, coming in on evenings or taking half days and coming in to look at that input on the branding. So yeah, about a year and a half.
Thank you for the presentation. My question is about choosing the right staff. People who have passion for our industry, and they are not there just for the salary, but they are there to add something new to the value of our company. I have some failed experiences with people that I hired. What kind of piece of advice you are giving me for looking for new blood coming to my company?
So I feel that me giving you advice on how to recruit new people is not my strength, but we are very much focusing as a team on the fit of the people and the dynamic people. You know, sales is about getting out there and talking to people, persuading them to work with you or give you a chance. And if you look, so for example, for sales and marketing, if that guy can't sell themselves to you in the meeting, or that girl, that lady, then how are they going to go and sell to the rest of the world? But you need to get energy. Sales, again, is a very energy-sapping process. You run out of energy pretty quickly. So the energy will come from the whole team working together. And if that team doesn't fit, you won't get the energy off each other. So I would say just go with your instinct, but try and get somebody who fits with your team and fits with your company, because then that will then multiply up. And eventually the whole team, I play in a band for my sins, and what we love in the band is when you've got 4 players playing instruments, but the whole thing comes together and you get, the sum is more than the people just playing, it all lifts, and suddenly you get a result that is better than just all the different bits. And the same thing should apply with a company.
Hello, here's a question. I'm Michael Scholan from Star. Thank you very much for your speech. Very interesting. I've seen that you publish FIFO reviews on your website. And I wanted to know if that is part of the Conversis Medical new branding initiative. That one first. And then second, don't you think that this can backfire? That small quality issue blown out of proportion can do you harm?
Can I pick this up? Because I think it's actually a key issue. We made that decision, as Mark said, a couple of years ago. We always have done customer satisfaction surveys, but everybody in the market says we've got satisfied customers, we've got, we've got good quality, and surprise, surprise, the case studies that are presented are all good. No one puts a bad case study up on their website. So I guess it was sort of brave, but I think that if we're getting bad reviews, we've got a bigger problem than just the fact we've got bad reviews on our website. We need to solve the issues. And what I hoped was that the credibility we would get from being transparent about it would overwrite any potential bad reviews we got. We've got a bad review on there. Things go wrong, yeah? So we've got a bad review on there. But it enabled us to identify other problems. They've just rung up and stopped me, giving the details of a bad review. Is that right? So I think that transparency is important. And Mark was talking about in terms of the recruitment and all this sort of thing. I think it's the big issue, and it's excuse the marketing speak. It's about understanding who you are. And one of our core values is transparency. So we're trying to sort of live the reality there and say, look, we are transparent and we're prepared to put our heads above the parapet. Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, well, if we don't have any more questions for Mark, thank you very much, Mark. And now the last talk of this